the West tonight. Yeah, the best coast, baby.
Yeah. What's up, everybody? It's your favorite shaman, Shaman Tay, back with another episode of Ignite Your Light. Today, we are talking about You Are on God's Family Plan. The title of the episode is You Are on God's Family Plan. And just a little recap of what we talked about last week, right? Last week, we talked about the language of God. And just a reminder, right? The language of God is feelings, And why does God speak to us in feelings? Because feelings are the universal language that everybody speaks, right? We all know love. We all know pain, trauma, right? Betrayal, happiness, excitement. All of those feelings are universal. You don't have to explain that to anybody. So it doesn't matter what language you speak, what culture you come from. Everybody speaks feelings. And it's very representative, right, of the energy of God, because the energy of God is universal. It's oneness. It's connecting, right? It's bringing things together. So, of course, God would speak to us with that universal language of feelings, right? And last week we talked about, how God guides us subtly, through our lives. And it's very difficult to recognize those subtle hunches and those subtle nudges and things like that because we don't really push that as a society, right? We don't say go with how you feel, go with what feels right. We say, do this for success, follow this program, follow these steps, pay $1 million to get such and such. You got to have these followers and go viral in order to be successful. That kind of thing is really thrown in our faces. So this individual feeling our way through life is really something that is new to us. And so that's what makes understanding God and understanding these unconscious ways that God guides us very difficult, right? Because it's very personal. The way that God may guide me, it may be totally different than how God speaks to you. But the grounding philosophy here is that God speaks to us in feelings. So when we get that bad feeling about that person that we just met, that is God subtly telling us, hey, something's not right about this situation. Something's not right about this person in terms of their alignment to you. And, that's the beauty of the human experience, right? Is that, God is here to guide us, to support us, to love us, to help us, realize our purpose and our passion and our truth, right? But God cannot force you to realize your truth. God can send you signs, right? Send you people to help you understand your truth, show you these mirrors of yourself to help you see these hidden versions of you, right? But God can't force your hand and say, make yourself better. Stop making these choices. You have to decide that. That's the free will part of our human experience, right? We have the free will to say, yes, we want to listen to what we are feeling. We want to follow that excitement. When we're passionate about things, we want to go with that. Or do we want to allow our doubts and our fears to control us? So that's what we talked about last week. Just a quick recap of, the language of God, just to kind of set the foundation for what we're talking about today, which is you are on God's family plan. Okay. And what does it mean to be on God's family plan? What does it mean to be a family member of God? Right. Well, the great thing about our human experience is that God has equipped us with a 24/7 connection. Okay. So when we think about being a part of God's family, we are connected to this divine energy, this source of all that is good, right? To guide us, to provide us wisdom, to give us support, to love us when we feel unloved. We are connected to that energy 24/7. And so, you know how you get a phone plan, right? Verizon, AT&T, so on and so forth, right? You have to subscribe to a certain package, right? I want this amount of data. I want unlimited texts and calls, that kind of thing, right? The subscription for God's family plan is 24/7 love, 24/7 support, 24/7 guidance. And the beautiful thing is that you don't need to buy $1,000 iPhone to connect with God. You don't need to have some kind of crazy education or read a bunch of books or really earn or meet any kind of need to have this base plan of 24 by 7 love, guidance, and support. Okay. So you are already equipped with an unlimited plan from God because God's like, look, we family members. Okay. I am here to support you. I am here to guide you. I am here to love you and help you become the best version of yourself, a version of yourself that you don't even see right now. But I'm going to help you get there, you know, and that's included regardless of your belief, you know. And, the thing about belief, which is so interesting and why I think a lot of people get confused about spirituality, is that us as humans, we need belief, right? We need some kind of justification, whether it's a degree, an accolade, you know, our amount of followers, whatever the case may be. We need some kind of justification to say we are who we say we are. We need that degree to say that I'm capable of being a doctor, right? We need that accolade to say I'm really good at what I'm doing, right? We need that following to say, hey, I'm a thought leader in this space and I know what I'm talking about. We need that physical justification that says we are who we are, right? But God doesn't need that. And that's belief, right? God does not need you to believe in God for God to support you, to love you, to guide you, you know. That's a human thing, you know? God is like, we family. You are on my family plan. And there's nothing you can do to break up this family, you know? Even if you don't believe, even if you speak negatively about me, I don't care. I'm still going to support you anyway. Why? Because God's love is unconditional. And we have to keep remembering that when we see so many conditional displays of God's energy. All of these things that tell us we have to read a certain book, we have to be a certain religion, we have to follow a certain amount of steps in order to quote unquote earn God's love. But you already have it because you're on God's family plan, you know? You are a prestigious member of a divine family, you know? And many of us don't know what it feels like to be loved unconditionally, you know, to be supported unconditionally. It's weird to be loved unconditionally, you know? It's weird to not have to fight for love, right? Even as we look at stories and books and movies and so on, there's always this fight. There's always this earning that has to happen to get love, right? The prince to find the princess has to go through some journey and such, or the princess has to go through some crazy change in order to find love and earn love. But in spirituality, God is like, you're on my family plan. Love is there unconditionally. It doesn't matter who you are, who you love, what you do in your life. I still love you, you know. Anyway, and it's a difficult concept, I think, for us to understand because we don't know what it's like to be loved unconditionally. Our own families love us conditionally. They measure us by our success, what we do, what we wear, the choices we make, so on and so forth, right? We're conditional with our own selves. So it's hard for us to really grasp the concept of someone loving us despite what we do, despite the choices we make, and despite who we are and what we've been through, you know? But that's what it means to be on God's family plan, okay? So our bodies are our communication device to God. God speaks through us, through our hearts, through our feelings. God is always subtly guiding you, letting you know that you're in the right place or you're in the wrong place. You know, when you get a bad feeling about an opportunity, that's God saying, this ain't right for you, you know? And it's our job to really differentiate between our fears and our feelings of us doubting ourselves and not being confident, right? And the actual feelings of this isn't right for you, you know? And that comes with being connected with yourself and your body, you know? And if you can't be alone, if you can't be in silence, if you cannot spend time by yourself, there's something going on internally, right? where God is trying to communicate with you, but you're not giving God the time, right? To listen, to just feel what you're feeling. We like to intellectualize our feelings. We like to understand the why behind things. But in spirituality, it's very simple, right? Spiritual energy is sensed and felt. It's personal, it's unique to you. A great example of this is what your body's telling you about everything, right? I played basketball for 20 years, right? I went out, try to play pickup and, you know, for a couple hours. And the next day I'm like, I can't walk. My legs are done. My body is telling me I did entirely too much. I thought I was Jordan. I thought I was Kobe. And my body reminded me that you're Shaman Tay. You are not none of them. And our bodies are intelligent. We don't give our bodies enough credit for being our bodies, right? They are an intelligent source. Think about it. When you cut your arm, you don't have to tell your body, hey, I have a cut on my arm right here on the left part of my wrist. Can you heal it for me? No. Your body just knows. Boom. You have a cut on your arm. I'm going to heal it, right? Your body knows to tell you, you got to go to the bathroom. I'm going to let you know, right? You ate too much. I'm going to give you a stomach ache to let you know that you did something that's misaligned to you, right? That's at the lowest level. But if we can bring that concept up to a higher vibration, right? If we can bring it into a broader space, we can understand that our bodies are the intelligent communication device that tells us everything we need to know about the situation, right? You meet somebody new. If they feel off to you, if they feel warm and cozy to you, right? That's going to tell you whether or not you need to be around that person, right? But here's the thing. We have the free will to leave God on red. God is sending you a text message as soon as you meet somebody new. God is like, look, this person is your person. You feel that warm, fuzzy feeling. You see these thoughts that you're getting about your future with that person and hanging out with that person, and you feel very comfortable and at peace, right? This is me sending you a text message to let you know you're in the right place and this person is aligned to you, right? The same is true when we meet somebody and we just completely feel off or uncomfortable. Something's disruptive within our energy together. Something is off, like about my experience with this person. That is God hitting you with that text message. Hey, this person ain't for you. Then what do, right? We tell God, nah, I'm smarter than you. I'm going to make a bunch of excuses as to why I'm not going to listen to the feelings that I feel. I know you are sending me this text message to tell me that this person ain't for me, but they check all my boxes. They drive a nice car. They're super attractive. I like the way they look at me, or I like the way they talk to me, or they make me laugh. And then we start to make all of these excuses for not listening to what God has sent us on the text, right? God hit our communication device up, our bodies, our hearts, our feelings. God speaks to us and lets us know this ain't for you, or this is for you. And it's our choice whether or not we want to leave God on red. You know what I'm saying? God doesn't leave us on red. And we may assume that God leaves us on red because we're asking God for material things that we need right now. And God, being the wise, divine, energetic source that's supporting all of us, says, nah, you don't need that thing. And I'm not going to give it to you because it's not actually what you need. You might need growth. You might need hard work. You might need to hit rock bottom in order for you to change your perspective and make a different choice, And I know that for you. So I'm going to send you that way, But we have guidance in everything that we do. You have that little inkling and that excitement and that spark that is guiding you in the right direction, I get excited every time I make a podcast, I get this twinkling of this is what I'm supposed to be doing, This is what God put me on this earth to do. I can feel that energy. I didn't get a message from God saying, hey, Tay, you're supposed to be a shaman and I want you to do this, this, and this. And throughout your life, do such and such. There is no prescriptive plan that I received to go on my journey to be who I am, But the energy that God sent me through these sparks of excitement, through the joy that I get doing the things that I love, that is the subtle guidance from God. And I have to respect the language of God and the feelings that I'm getting sent. You know what I'm saying? So, following your passion, following your joy, following your excitement, even if it doesn't make sense, following that energy because it is a subtle guidance to where you're supposed to go. And this is unplanned energy we're talking about, you know? The best parts of our life are unplanned. But we're planners, right? We don't like surprises. We want to know every single step. But for us to be the fullest version of ourselves, we have to have a level of humility to know that we don't have all the answers. We have to humble ourselves and know that our human experience is dual, right? It's us being the doers and us having access to this huge wealth of information, wisdom, and guidance to help us do the doing, you know? So it's a dual experience, right? You get a feeling, you get an inkling, you get a hunch, right? That tells you should be doing something. You should be moving in a certain direction, right? Now, choice happens, free will happens, right? And with every choice, there's a consequence. And, the connotation of consequence, we always think about this negative thing, right? There's a negative consequence, but there are positive consequences. It's just a result of a choice, right? And so you get this feeling of excitement doing something you love to do, right? And then now you have a choice to choose to move in that direction, right? And the consequence of that choice may be more joy, more happiness, right? A more fulfilling life. But let's say I start to overthink that joy and that excitement. I'm like, well, I know I really want to do this and I'm getting this feeling that's sending me in this direction, but let me think about all the ways that I can fail. Feelings are difficult to explain, you know. That's why you have so many metaphors and stories and songs and, creative expressions of feelings because they're very difficult to explain with words. But your passion and your purpose are built into your feelings. You feel what your passion is. You feel what your purpose is. And there may not be any words that actually describe what that is. There may not be a role, a title, a box for you to fit in that matches the energy that you're being sent. And that's the challenge, right? When we have this path that's unpaved, right? We have a path that we have to create ourselves because we are a unique expression, right? When we have to create that path ourselves, it makes things difficult, right? Because we don't know if we're doing the right thing, right? We start questioning it. We start measuring ourselves by society's definitions of success, right? But we have been programmed to make our passions fit in a box, make our energy of excitement and joy fit a definition that allows us to say, yes, it's okay for me to move in this direction. But your passion and your purpose is undefined, you know? Take me, for example, right? I'm a shaman. I also work at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory. I study astrology, I study numerology. I want to help people understand spirituality in a real way and understand who God really is in terms of unconditional love, support, and guidance, right? There's no job that wraps all of that up in one title. There's nothing that is set in stone for me to follow a certain path, right? But here's how I know the truth. God sends me the feelings to tell me that this job is right for me, that this experience is right for me, that what I'm doing is right for me. And when I experience people that I shouldn't be around, God sends me the information. God hits up my body phone and sends me a little text and says, Tay, this person ain't it. You feel that sluggish feeling you feel when you leave that person and you're drained, or you feel that frustration and that uncomfortableness, right? That you feel when you're around people that aren't aligned to you. That's me telling you, this ain't it, right? This is not the person you should be around. But because we are so used to accepting conditions, accepting pain, accepting hurt, right? Accepting disrespect, we're used to it. We just accept it and make excuses for us accepting things that we don't even want, you know? God is sending you the energy to let you know that something is right for you or something is wrong for you. Then you have a choice and there's a consequence of that choice. It's very simple, right? And there's nothing that you need to believe in other than the feelings that you're getting. Believe your feelings, right? Believe that what you're feeling is right about this person, about this experience, right? If you feel like, I feel at home, I feel comfortable, I feel at peace, you know that it's right for you. It doesn't matter if it doesn't make sense. It doesn't matter if it's not on your 5-year plan, right? We can't plan life. This is a human experience. We have to experience life. We have to be in the present, in the now, to even understand when we're being guided, you know? How do you know if something's right for you if you don't actually experience it and know, you know? You are a special person that has access to this divine wisdom, guidance, and love, you know? And this connection from your body to God and from God to your body is a two-way connection, y'all. You know? You don't have to do anything. You don't have to earn anything. You don't have to go through some hero's journey to be on God's family plan. You already there, you know? So when you want to talk to God, all you have to do is close your eyes and talk to God. Speak in your mind. Connect. Because the lines are open always. The lines are never closed, you know? We may feel alone. We may have this loneliness, right? Because God is this intangible energy we can't see. It's difficult for us to believe that we're supported by something we can't see, you know? And that's faith. That's the challenge of our spiritual experience, right? Is that we actually have to have a level of faith, believing in something we don't see in order for us to really know that we're supported, you know? And the only time that we really have that faith when it's in a high vibration is when we are down in the dumps and we've done everything in our physical human power, right? To move out of the situation. And now our back is against the wall. And then we pray. And then we ask for God to help us, right? But God's like, look, I've been here sending you signs, hitting you with text after text after text. And if you look at your body phone, you done left me on red. You left God on red 4 years ago when God hit you a text and told you that this person wasn't right for you. And then you made excuses about why you don't want to listen to the feelings that you're feeling, right? And then 4 years later, after all the pain and the struggle and the hurt that you could have bypassed if you didn't leave God on red, right? Now you come to the conclusion that this person wasn't right for you, right? The same is true when you get that spark of excitement and joy doing something you love to do. That is a sign from God telling you you're on the right track. That excitement is like you taking a key and opening a locked door into a new experience that's going to elevate you and help you grow and make you feel fulfilled, you know? So many people are like, what's my passion? What's my purpose? You've already felt it 100%. You've already felt your passion and your purpose through excitement, through these sparks of insight, you know? Ooh, I love when I'm doing such and such, right? But the tricky thing is that we are in a material world, right? We're having a spiritual experience in a physical material world, right? And sometimes that logic and that measuring, right? And that it's got to make sense aspect of our human selves takes over our spiritual experience, right? We start to ignore how excited we were when we were doing that thing because that thing, we can't make money from it, right? That thing, there's no title addressed to it, right? And so we negate those feelings, we block those feelings, and then we go do something that is more logical, right? We do something more safe, something that provides us stability, those kinds of things, right? But God says, look, I'm guiding you through this spark of excitement to show you that this is actually the direction you need to go. You cannot listen to me and go do that safe thing, but you're not going to feel that feeling that I already sent you of excitement, of joy, of loving what you do. You know, when you love what you do, it doesn't feel like work. It doesn't feel like, oh my God, here I'm going again. Got to see these people I don't want to see. Let me put this armor on so I have to protect myself from this negative experience, you know? You don't have to do that when you're following your excitement and your joy and your passion, you know? But it's scary to follow your excitement and your joy and your passion, right? Because you have to have faith in yourself and your abilities to be who you are, you know? And that's a challenge. That's the scary part. We don't believe in ourselves enough to follow the language of God, to follow the energy that God's sending us of excitement, of passion, of joy. We don't believe in ourselves enough to even know that's true, you know? God sent you the spark to tell you that this is your passion, right? Then what do? You go make all these excuses as to why you can't follow your passion, right? Why your passion is not going to work for you, why your passion doesn't fit into your family dynamic or your process or your vision for yourself, right? And that's when our egos get in the way, you know? That's when we say, God, I'm smarter than you. I have a plan for my life and it has to go like X, you know? And you could have an amazing plan for your life, you know? You could dream big. You would want these great things for yourself, right? But you have to have the humility to know that you actually don't know what's right for you, you know? You may think that you want these things, and then when you have that experience, you realize, nah, this ain't really what I want, you know? I played basketball for 20 years, you know? I always wanted to be a professional basketball player, you know, ever since I was like 9 or 10. And then I went to college and I started playing basketball, you know, at the collegiate level. And there's an amount of love and passion that you have to be a athlete at that level and higher, right? You have to literally love what you're doing because it's hard on your body. You make sacrifices, you know, you really have to love it, you know? And I realized I don't love this. I don't love this actually enough to want to do this as a career, to want to do this, you know? I may have loved basketball and being a basketball player, but to do this as a career for myself, I don't love it enough. But there's no way that I could have known that without having the experience of what it would be like for me to have this as a career. I had to go into the deep end, feel what it's like to know that I don't want to play basketball anymore. I don't love it like these other people love it. I don't eat it, breathe it, sleep it, right? I don't. But there's other things that give me that spark and that passion. And that's those subtle messages of God, you know? My ego wanted to be a basketball player. My ego wanted to be in front of the crowds and do this thing that I love doing, you know? But God was guiding me in a different direction to tell me, no, Tay, that's actually not what's meant for you, you know? And I'm going to guide you through you being passionate every time you write something, every time you speak publicly, you know, every time you get fired up about spirituality, right? That's me letting you know that you're on the right track and this is the direction that you should be going, you know? So, us getting that subtle text message in our body phones from God is the guidance that we need. That's all we need. We don't need to check in with friends, family, you know, colleagues to tell us we're allowed to be who we are. You're allowed to be whoever you want to be, as long as you're not hurting anyone else, right? As long as your intent is good, right? If your intent is, I want to share information for the world, I want to share my creative energy, I want to share my thought leadership and my insights because I have this passion for X, you're allowed to do that. There's nothing else that you need to do to justify that you should be moving forward in that direction, right? Your feelings are the justification, you know? You have joy and excitement when you are doing X. That's what you're meant to do, period. It might not make sense. There might not be a person that has that title. That lane might not even be created. It's up to you to define that lane, you know? But you have to have enough passion and enough belief within yourself that you can do it. And that's faith. It's having the belief that when I'm moving this direction of joy and excitement, all the material things that I need to sustain this joy and excitement will come to me because I believe it. I believe that God is guiding me in the right direction with this joy and excitement. So I'm just going to blindly move forward. I don't care if I don't have the backing. I don't care if I don't have the following yet, you know? I'm just going to move forward anyway and let God surprise me, you know? I know many of us, we hate surprises. We want to know exactly what's going to happen, when it's going to happen so we can be prepared. Don't throw me a surprise party because I need to have the right outfit. You know what I'm saying? Don't surprise me. I'm not ready. I need to do this, 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 and this and meet all this checklist first. But God says, nah, you were born ready, baby. You were born with that creative spirit. You were born with that ability to speak to people. You were born with that mind that you have in order to be that person that you feel that you already are. Who we are, what we love, what makes us excited. That's not up for debate with any other humans. You know, we want this justification. We want people to believe that we are who we say we are. But the belief is yours. It's your choice to move in the direction that excites you, right? It's your choice to settle for less. It's your choice to go with what's on your checklist versus what you feel in your heart. And God doesn't work with checklists. There is no human checklist that God has that says, all y'all got to do this. You got to pray every day. You got to do this. You got to do. No, there's nothing. God says, look, you are here to be and to experience what it's like to be a human and be connected to me. I put you on this earth to have this fun human experience that you said you wanted. And I know at times it's not fun. At times you may struggle, but it's the lessons that you have to learn here. How are you going to learn strength if you haven't been broken and had to find your strength? How are you going to learn the things that you don't want if you don't actually experience those things and feel those feelings of, ooh, this doesn't feel good? That feeling is telling me I'm experiencing something that I don't want. I need to turn left instead. That is how God guides us through feeling, but we have to experience things. We have to not be too afraid to go after something, to step into that excitement, step towards these opportunities. We have to stop holding ourselves back from greatness because we're waiting on this checklist item to get done. We're waiting on this permission slip that we have for ourselves to get signed by somebody who don't even know who you are. You know what I'm saying? No one is going to validate who you are but you. Everyone has their own perception of life. So they may judge who you are because that's not who they are. They may judge what you love because that's not what they love. But if you feel it in your heart, if you feel that excitement and that joy and that truth inside your body, you know that God says that's the direction that you need to go. And that's the only validation you need. What you want in your life may not always make sense to everyone. People may not always agree with your path and where you want to go and your beliefs. And that's okay. We have to be okay with everybody not being on our side and on our team. Everybody doesn't believe that God loves everybody. Everyone doesn't believe that God's love is unconditional. Many people believe that God's love has conditions and only certain people are worthy of God's love. And you're a dirty rag in the eyes of God. That kind of thing, that thinking, right? That's other people's thinking. God doesn't think any of us are dirty rags and unworthy. We are worthy of the highest vibration of love, of guidance, of support. Why? Because you on God's family plan. You family, baby. You know what I'm saying? You are family. And how God treats God's family, God treats you with love, unconditional love, And I know it is hard to understand because we do not get treated with unconditional love by anything in our life. Everything in our life has conditions. You don't get paid unless you work. I only love you if you're faithful to me, right? There's conditions on everything in our life except with God. God says, look, there are no conditions that I have, right? That says you have to be a certain way. You have to love a certain type of person. You have to live a certain lifestyle. No, we're here to experience life. And how you know that you're on the right track is how you feel inside. If you feel crappy and drained and confused, you know that you're not on the right track, point blank, period. And when you get that burst of excitement, that passion, right? That love for doing something, for a person, place, or thing, you know that that is God guiding you in the right direction. And you have to strengthen your belief in that feeling to be strong enough to overcome other people's expectations and opinions of you. It's difficult, right? To be who you are and be a unique individual expression of your truth with all these people telling you what you supposed to do. Well, they say blah, blah, blah. No, I ain't supposed to do nothing but what God is telling me to do. God is guiding me through my passion and my joy and my excitement. That has to be more important than what your family is telling you to do, what society is telling you to do, what any books are telling you to do. Your passion, your feeling inside yourself is your guide to go in the right direction, right? Sometimes you are a party of one on an island by yourself, right? But you need to be good by yourself with that joy and that excitement. You can party on that island, okay? It's tough to be a unique individual. It's so much easier to conform, right? To align to the masses and what everyone else is doing, right? But you're a unique expression of God. God says that, look, in order for people to know who I am, you have to be who you are. Then people will understand that humans come in every flavor, right? You can be this person that's undefined, right? You can run in that direction. You can have this passion for this thing that doesn't have a name for it yet, but you have to do that to evolve and expand, right? If everybody's doing the same thing and conforming to all of these definitions that we have, how are we going to evolve, right? Evolution happens from people who take risks, right? Who push the boundaries of these definitions that we have. Evolution doesn't happen from conforming, right? We have to believe in ourselves enough, even if the path isn't laid for us, And if we don't know, again, we got to remember whose family we're a part of. We're part of God's family, right? That means we have access to 24/7 love, guidance, and support. So if you feel lost, all you have to do is go by yourself and ask God to give you a sign, right? Help me understand if this person is right for me, if this job is right for me, if I'm moving in the right direction. Ask God to send you a sign. But remember that that sign is going to be a metaphor. It's going to be this intangible thing that only you will know, Perfect example of this, like one of my best friends, she recently lost two grandparents, and one of her grandparents always really had this affinity for butterflies, And every time she sees a butterfly, she feels like her grandmother is connecting with her, And anyone else could see that butterfly and not think anything of it, But when she specifically sees that butterfly, she knows, oh, that's my grandma, right? The white butterfly coming through, that's my grandma letting me know I'm on the right path. I'm on the right track, And this is why the spiritual experience is so personal and unique. No one else gets to tell her that that's not real, that's not true, that it's you. You know the signs. God's going to send you the sign that's specifically for you. No one else will know that that's the sign for you but you. God will send you a message that tells you, boom, I'm here for you. Because we family, baby. And I support my family. We're not used to support. We're used to disrespect. We're too comfortable getting disrespected and getting hurt. We're so comfortable with it that we live in sadness and depression and anxiety. And we try to just medicate that and put a Band-Aid on it and try to bypass that energy. But those are the signs from God telling you you're not in the right place. You're not with the right people. That anxiety, those feelings, that sadness, that's me trying to tell you something. We don't want to feel the sadness, right? We don't want to feel the disconnection. But God is sending you that feeling for you to make a change, for you to make a choice, for you to use your free will and change your own situation, It is true that God helps those who help themselves, right? God helps you by sending you the feelings of anxiety, right? The feelings of sadness, the feelings of anger and frustration. And you have to do something about that. Only you can change that. God already did God's job. God's like, boom, hit you with the text to let you know this situation isn't for you, right? You can leave God on red and allow for yourself to stay in a space that you don't want to be in. But you also have to remember that that is your choice. You can't be mad at anybody else when you choose sadness, when you choose frustration, when you choose abuse, right? When you choose disrespect. You can't blame anyone else but yourself. You know, God is sending you the directions, right? Through your feelings, through this universal language that's supposed to guide you, right? But this is a dual human experience. You are the doer. You are the mechanism of change. So in order for your life to change, you have to change. You have to make a choice, you know? And the difficult part is that sometimes we get those feelings that make us make a major change in our life, you know? Maybe it's the feeling about somebody that you've known for 20, 30 years, you know? But you keep getting the feeling that this person really isn't aligned with you, you know? And then you have to decide whether or not you want to continue to make excuses for accepting things that you don't want or make a change to start accepting things you do want. But God's like, look, I sent you the text. That's all I'm going to do. You know, all I can do is show you what you are doing. I can send you people to help you understand who you are and the choices that you make and the consequences of that choice. But it's up to you to make a change, you know? And that's a tricky part, right? We have to be connected to our bodies to be connected to God, you know? So when we do things that mask our connection to our body, it masks our connection to God. It masks our ability to decode the messages that God is sending us, right? If every time we're sad, we drink, there's no way that we're going to get out of that sadness, you know? If we just try to mask our anxiety with prescription meds, there's no way we're going to get out of that anxiety. We are masking a symptom, right, of us not making the right choice for ourselves, you know? And so God is saying, look, I'm sending you these feelings to make you do something, to help you move in the right direction. If you continue to ignore these feelings, now I'm going to send you something stronger through your body. Now I'm going to send you some thoughts, right? Now I'm going to send you some pain in your body, and then maybe you'll know, right? And maybe you'll learn this lesson, and maybe you'll make this choice. No? Okay, we're going to keep going down this path. Now I'm going to send you something else a little bit stronger, right? Then maybe you'll make a change, right? And we find ourselves in a place that's way deeper and darker that we need to be in, right? And that's because we haven't listened from the first time, you know? We know within the first 30 seconds to a minute if a person is right for us, if an opportunity is right for us. We have to experience it, feel it, and then go with what we feel is right, you know? When we say yes, we should mean yes. When we say no, we should mean no. There should be no justification for how we feel. If we say this feels right, I'm doing this, I don't need to validate it from anybody, you know, because God already validated it by sending me the feeling of excitement, right? You know, so it's really not that complicated, y'all. But we have to start to recognize this language of God that God is sending us, right? God is guiding us always. There's no belief needed. That's not a requirement, right? To be on a family plan. You already there. You were born into a divine family. God is like, I got you 24/7. I'm going to send you the vibes that you need, you know? But if you are masking those feelings with alcohol and drugs and toxic relationships and excuses, right? To justify you being hurt, you staying in a place of anxiety, you staying in depression. If you're going to do that, there's no way that I can help you because you don't want to help yourself. You feel me? We have to help ourselves, you know, and know that we're worthy of love. We're worthy of guidance. We're worthy of support. We're worthy of feeling good. We deserve it. That is our right as humans, you know? And we have this wealth of information and this source of wisdom that we can tap into anytime we want because we're on God's family plan. You know, your family. And I know that that's a difficult concept to understand because a lot of us come from broken families and we have families that hurt us and don't make us feel good. So family is like a weird concept, right? But when you're on God's family, God is like, I love you. I support you. I'm going to guide you at any time of the day. All you have to do is recognize what I'm already sending you. I'm going to hit you with that text message regardless. because we family. I'm going to let you know this is where you're supposed to be. Here's this little inkling. Here's this little hunch. Here's this little insight to let you know that you're in the right place. Or here's this feeling of uncomfortableness, right? Here's this feeling of disruption to let you know you're not in the right place. And truly, if you are not at peace in a relationship, in an experience, that is telling you that you're not in the right place. These are the subtle guidance, right, of God. And it doesn't need to be defined by anyone. It doesn't need to be accepted by anyone. It doesn't need to be blessed by anyone. That text message is blessed by God, you know? So you have to catch yourself when you find yourself measuring yourself and comparing yourself against other people and finding something to justify and validate this feeling of joy and excitement that you feel when you're doing something you're passionate about, you know? We have to trust that God is going to provide the material things that we need to feel supported on the physical side of the world, right? All we have to do is follow our passion, right? I'm passionate about this. I'm going to do it with all my energy, you know? I'm not going to waste my energy doubting myself, right? I'm not going to waste my energy on limiting beliefs, right? I'm not going to ignore my intuition and what my heart is telling me. I'm just going to go forward and have the faith that God is going to do everything else that's needed for me to be successful. I just have to do my part and follow my excitement, you know, run in that direction. Remember that you are on God's family plan. Your family, you were born into this divine family. You were born with the love and the support, you know. God loves the deepest, realest version of you, the one without the money, the success, and the accolades, right? The real version of you. That's the version that God loves, you know? And because God loves the realest version of you, God is going to guide you personally. It's going to be a very unique sign that you get that's meant just for you, you know? And then your job is to have the faith in yourself, in the feelings that you're feeling, in your gut feelings, your intuition, your dreams, right? You have to have the faith and believe that you are who you feel you are, you know? And you have to be strong enough to overcome other people's expectations of you, other people's thoughts of you, you know? And that is the personal power and the personal strength that you have to build up within yourself, you know? It's difficult to be a unique individual. It's difficult to have your own mind, right? And not conform to things that we were taught or the programmed beliefs that society has shown us over and over and over again. It's difficult to have your own mind. But the great part is that you're guided by God. You're loved by God. You're part of this divine family. And your feelings are the only truth, right? Your feelings tell you exactly what you need in your life, you know? And all you have to do is get really good at trusting that, you know? Take a risk on yourself. Go after that joy and that excitement. Who cares if it doesn't make sense? Who cares if there's no title that exists yet? It's your job to maybe create that title. It's your job to create that lane that doesn't exist yet. That's how we evolve. That's how we expand, you know? When you are the unique expression of yourself, you give everyone else permission to be their unique selves, you know? Some people feel like they're not allowed to be who they are, you know? And when they see you being who you are, you literally sign that permission slip for them and let them know, look how much joy and excitement I'm experiencing being who I am. You can do that too, you know? You're allowed to be who you are, regardless of what anybody has to say about it, you know? The validation for you moving in the right direction is how you feel. If you are excited and joyful about the things you're doing, you know that God is guiding you in the right direction, you know? Take some moments to be by yourself. Connect with yourself, your body, right? That self-care, right? You have to understand your own physical body. It is your communication device. We have to ensure that our body is unblocked, right? We're not masking the communication lines, right? We're not clogging up the communication lines by masking our connection with God through blocking our feelings, you know? It doesn't feel good, right? To feel sad and depressed. I understand that. It doesn't feel good to have anxiety. But if we can zoom out just a little bit, we'll know that these are signs telling us to make a change in our life. We have to trust that God is sending us exactly what we need when we need it to tell us which way to go. All we have to do is do our part, right? You don't want to have this feeling anymore? Make a change. You want to still have that feeling? Stay the same. It's very simple, Ask God to guide you if you need guidance. Ask God to send you a sign and be surprised by life, Remember, you are a part of a divine family. You are loved, you are supported, you are guided always. All you have to do is ask if you want more guidance. If you want something specific for a specific situation, ask. But either way, you're going to be guided. Don't leave God on red. Answer that text message, Make a change. Be fulfilled. Have more joy in your life because that's what it's about. We are here to experience life. So get your experience on, you dig? As always, thanks for listening. You can catch me at spiritoflove.life. You can even book a session with your favorite shaman, Shaman Tay. And we can, dive into your life path and what you're looking for in your life and talk about some of your hidden gifts, your strengths, and where you're going in your life. All right? Thanks for listening, everybody. Have a blessed week.
Yeah. Rolling through the city with my top down. Feeling for the freedom of my life now. Used to be on lockdown, bogged down. Had to break away from the compound. You can see my energy on swole now. Flexing with the mind got me so loud.